Morning team, it is Tuesday, November 16th. I'm Amy Kaur and I'm here with Kevin Van Eck and we are live out of the Goose Island office. So we have just a little over 6 weeks left until the end of the year. It's 45 days until January 1st. Really hard to believe. But what we want to talk about today is how to benefit and take your business forward and your relationships these last 6 weeks of the year. So grab your coffee, which we don't have any of right now, your tea, power smoothie, whatever you might want to drink. I'm suddenly feeling thirsty. And let's jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Yes, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, this is strange. We are out of coffee currently, and the coffee machine is being serviced. So today we've got a great topic. In fact, we know, like Amy said, that there's a little over 6 weeks till the end of the year. And so one of the things that we want to present and bring to you are 4 specifics about how you can impact your business in 2022. We've talked a lot about this, about different actions you can take now to be able to impact and tee yourself up to have a great year. We're going to talk through some habits or some actions that you can take, 4 specifically, to make sure that you continue and are not a one-hit wonder from 2021.
Right. No one wants to be a one-hit wonder. So here's the first thing that I'm going to suggest to you, and that is to be proactive. All right, so you know it's 6 weeks. It's the countdown, 45 days until January suddenly. What can you be doing right now to really double down or develop those relationships? And one of the things we're going to be seeing over these next few weeks are a lot of invitations to do things, whether they are holiday get-togethers, maybe it's certain things with family and friends. What I'm going to encourage you to do is to say yes. When you get an invitation to anything, even if you want to keep your jammies on and you want to watch a Hallmark movie, you cannot do that. You need to go out and interact. This is such a great time of year to just be authentic with the people around you, your past clients, friends, family, and just be out. And, don't worry about much other than engaging the relationships. Now, you might be saying to me through the camera right now, but Amy, I don't have any invitations. All right, well, if you don't have an invitation, create one. You don't have to be the one receiving an invite. You can also create an opportunity to have friends, family, clients gather over the next 6 weeks, whether it's a quick drink, cocktail maybe at a local restaurant. You can also even do small gifting, and instead of, you can drop it off at somebody's house, but what you could also do is maybe say, hey, why don't you pop on by the office from 4 to 6 o'clock? I'll have some hot chocolate, some great holiday music going, and I'd love for you to pick up whatever item of value, whether it's a pie or a small gift or a cake or something as it relates to the holidays. But right now, think about how can I be getting in front of people and making sure that I am engaging in this time of year where people are reflecting on this past year, are enjoying one another's company, especially off the heels of being in COVID for 18 months, really where we weren't able to engage as regularly. So be proactive. Think about how you can be making connections right now through the end of the year.
That's so great. I don't know, Amy, though. Have you seen the Hallmark or Lifetime holiday movie lineup?
No, I bet it's pretty good, though.
It
Do
probably
you already
is.
have it in your calendar?
I'm going to ask my parents. They literally have a list of all of the Hallmark movies that are coming up and Lifetime as well. So in any case, being proactive is super important. And I think, what's great is we have a list of all of these things we want to be proactive with, right? So we have all of the tasks or our to-do list, the things that we know need to be done. We need to prioritize it. So that's our second point, is prioritize what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And I am guilty of this. I believe Amy is as well, where we have a big to-do list. And a lot of times it's so lengthy that we have a choice on what we're going to take out of it. And oftentimes we choose the easy one, right? Mm-hmm. And so if there are things in our list, like creating an invite so that we can see people, to see our sphere, to see those around us, that will be last on the list because it's more difficult, because it may move us out of our comfort zone. And so we need to prioritize what is going to be most impactful in our business so that we actually do it. Because if we have a running list of 30 things to do before 2022, odds are we know we're not going to get to all of it, but certainly we're probably going to choose the things that are not really priorities, the things that aren't going to have the greatest impact on our business, our relationships with others, and even ourselves, right? Our relationships with our family, and also our own well-being moving into 2022. So at the bottom line, create a prioritized list. Don't just do this running total of items that you transfer from day to day or week to week going into 2022, actually prioritize it based on what you know is going to be most impactful, even if it's uncomfortable for you.
Such great advice, especially these last 45 days, prioritizing, because we're all busy. I know a lot of us are holiday shopping in between trying to grow an amazing business, right?
Yeah.
So my next tip for you is to focus on the win-win. Now, when you are interacting with past clients, friends of friends, family of friends, whoever it is that you might be engaging with over the next 45 days, don't worry about the business. And what I mean is your goal isn't to get a listing agreement signed. If you do, bonus. But what you're really doing is you're really developing the relationships right now. You're having conversations with people and finding out what's going on in their lives. You're probably going to talk to them about what their goals are for 2022. By knowing those now and interacting with them over the next 6 weeks when there's high engagement, then it's going to give you a reason to reach out in January. And when you know what's important to them, it is a win-win relationship because you're going to reach out and potentially add value. Maybe you're talking to a friend whose son or daughter is studying abroad after the new year and they're studying in Austria, which is where I studied. And maybe I happen to know of a great place out there that would be great for their son or daughter. That's a win, right? I'm bringing value to them because I heard about what was going on in their lives. And now in January, when I'm reaching out, it's about how can I help them with what they've got going on. And when you do that, you develop a greater relationship and then the business just naturally comes. So don't worry about getting listing agreements signed, but do think about how I can listen and hear what's going on with people so that I have an opportunity to create a win-win when I reconnect with them after the new year.
Really great. And if you saw Thad's video on business planning, that's what he
Yep.
talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it was now's the time to reach out, now's the time to connect with people.
Yep.
And if there's an opportunity for us to take coffee to Austria, I expect
I'm
that
there.
You'll give us some tips on where we need to be, right?
Yes.
Okay, so to wrap this up, our fourth is really about sharpening your saw. So in two ways, we're going to talk about sharpening your saw. The first is really, we mentioned our own personal well-being. Mm-hmm. So whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, these different ways that we can make sure that we're taking care of ourselves going into 2022. Mm-hmm. And we've heard so many stories this year, whether it was in the spring or summer or even the fall, when things were so busy that people weren't taking enough time to really grow themselves in each of those ways and make sure that they were doing okay physically, that they did have a morning routine that involved movement and involved eating well, and also emotionally making sure that people were surrounding themselves with positive and like-minded people that were helping in a positive way to push us forward instead of trying to hold us back. And so that's the first part of that is I think, making sure that we're taking time for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the second piece then in sharpening your saw is also on the business side, right? It's making sure that we're always learning. And there's so many opportunities more than ever, whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube, whether it's whatever it might be, books, audiobooks. We have the ability to learn in a 15-minute commute now.
Right.
And so I think it's so easy to do, but we don't take advantage of it. Make that a priority, right? Always be learning. ABL, I guess, is what you could say. Always be learning, because we know if you're not always learning, if you're not growing, then someone else is going to always surpass you. So bottom line, and I know you're a big proponent of podcasts. We talk about it all the time.
I now have my morning routine where instead of listening to, although there is holiday music now on the radio, so that is something that I absolutely love, but I've told myself in the mornings, because it's about a 45-minute commute to the Goose Island office from my house, I put on a podcast. And I will tell you, I show up and there's one or two bits of information that have suddenly, made me a little bit more informed in real estate investing, the things that I like to look at. But I think also about that is that when you are taking care of yourself and when you are growing, you add more to the people around you, right? Like we were joking earlier when we were, getting ready for this. And I said, like when I go to a holiday party, I'm going to try and find the people who are also riding their Peloton. Although today was the first day that I rode mine. in about 4 weeks. Yes, I'm going to say. But it's about connecting with people, right? And when you are learning or taking care of yourself or working out or doing any of the things that really matter to you, then you create organic relationships and connections when you are interacting with people. So always great to, when you fuel yourself, it gives you the opportunity to really give so much to others.
I love that. And let's touch on a bonus fifth then, based on the Peloton. A bonus fifth point, which is accountability. So if you have the ability to find an accountability partner between now and the end of the year, it's going to be a big win. As Amy mentioned, she hadn't been on her Peloton in a period of time. I also had not been on my Peloton treadmill in at least 4 weeks. So this morning was the first time we did it.
And you want to know why we did? Is because I texted Kevin yesterday and I said, are we going to show up and get on the Peloton on Monday morning, which we had talked about last Friday. So sometimes it just takes the nudge from somebody to, help get you back on track. So yes, accountability, always a great key.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully these tips were helpful. Leave a comment down below. Let us know which one of these resonates with you, and if there's something within here that you can add and share with others as well. So thank you for joining us. Fill up your coffee. We're waiting to get our next cup.
That's right. And remember, you've got this. And even more importantly, stay caffeinated. We're going to try and figure out if we can do that soon.
Make it a great day, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday.